Gila, ini gila banget. Gila banget sih Malaysia ini, gila guys. Kenapa seprofesional ini gitu loh guys ya. Orang luar negara itu sampai terkejut dengan fasilitas yang ada di Malaysia ini, dengan sistem yang ada di Malaysia ini. Bahkan mereka mengatakan ini tidak terjadi di negara saya katanya. Dia itu berasal daripada UK. Dia mengatakan hal itu. Allahu Akbar. Orang UK sampai mengatakan seperti itu guys. Itu aduh gila banget. Saking bagusnya, gila. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jumpa lagi dengan saya guys, Cak Mujib. Gimana kabar teman-teman semua? Semoga sehat selalu dalam lindungan Allah Subhanahu wa taala, dijauhkan dari segala mara bahaya, malapetaka, bencana dan balak serta berbagai macam penyakit. Amin amin ya rabbal alamin. Alright guys, kali ini kita akan reaksi sebuah video ya. Ini sangat-sangat menarik sekali. Ini kadang orang kan bilang, kenapa sih harus Malaysia dan Indonesia? Ya kan, kenapa harus itu membandingkan ataupun kita belajar daripada Malaysia ataupun hal demikian lah, kebalikannya gitu kan. Tapi sekarang guys, ini akan membungkam teman-teman semua, dimana bukan hanya Indonesia, tapi orang-orang luar pun ya mengatakan bahwasannya hal ini tuh sangat-sangat luar biasa ya di Malaysia ini guys ya. Jadi penasaran kan, ya kan? Kenapa kok orang luar sampai begitu? Bule-bule daripada UK, England, Australia, dan ya barat-barat situ semuanya mengakui itu guys. Ya, gila sih guys. Jadi tanpa berlama-lama, jom kita simak videonya. Let's go.
Belakangan ini, sistem kesehatan Malaysia rame banget dibicarakan oleh orang-orang luar negara. Banyak yang gak nyangka kalau Malaysia ternyata termasuk salah satu yang terbaik di dunia dalam hal layanan kesehatan. Bukan cuma karena biayanya yang murah, tapi juga karena fasilitas rumah sakitnya yang modern dan canggih, serta dokter-dokternya yang profesional dan cekap. Di Malaysia, orang gak perlu nunggu berminggu-minggu hanya untuk bertemu dokter. Cukup tunggu beberapa jam aja, langsung bisa dilayani. Gak heran kalau makin banyak warga asing yang kagum dan memilih berobat ke Malaysia.
I was shocked by hospitals in Malaysia. I checked out a few of the best hospitals in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and I was surprised at how world-class yet affordable they are. First of all, it was extremely convenient that everybody could speak fluent English and answer all of our questions quickly. My husband injured his hand and needed to get a consultation with a specialist.
Jadi bahasa Inggris fasih gitu kan. Jadi apa ya guys ya, membuat orang luar itu sangat-sangat mudah untuk berobat di sana. Dan ketika istilahnya orang Indonesia, mereka juga fasih berbahasa Indonesia gitu loh. Keren sih, asli keren.
We just showed up at the hospital and the orthopedic specialist was available the same day, for which we paid $40 for an appointment. It went really smoothly. The doc took their time to explain everything to us without rushing it. Because of how nice the experience was, my husband decided to have a small surgical procedure done on his hand, and again the whole process was efficient, but the doc did an amazing job. The surgery cost around $2,000. Not cheap, but way cheaper than the $10,000 to $15,000 he would have paid in the States.
Did I just go? Kalau di luar negeri 10.000, di Malaysia cuma 2.000, lebih murah dan fasilitasnya bagus. Itu ya menjadi pilihan bule-bule sih guys.
For the cheapest doctor's appointment here in Malaysia, I think I did. I arrived in Kuala Lumpur just 2 days ago, and previously I had an infection in this ear, so I used some medicated drops in it, and eventually the pain went away. But it's been like 2 weeks now, and I still can't hear very well out of it. I figured I'd just research online to see if I can find some affordable clinic for someone to take a look at it, and I ended up finding a place called Clinic Alpha. So I figured I'd take the subway there because it's really close to the Pandan Jaya subway station. It was really easy to get to. And by the way, this place is also awesome because they are open 24 hours. How convenient is that? And this is not a sponsored video, by the way. I'm just amazed by their service. So I walked in there, I just gave the lady my passport. She registered me into their system. I sat down, I waited for like 2 minutes, and the doctor was ready to see me right away. I was only in the doctor's office for like 2 to 3 minutes. There was no need to stay any longer. She used this really modern instrument where she can see inside my ear canal and actually take a picture. So she showed me my ear canal, and she basically said there wasn't much that we could do because this was just going to heal on its own in about a month. And then it was time to pay, and I was amazed when she told me the doctor's consultation was only 30 Malaysian ringgit, which is about $6 to $7. Now, if that's not the cheapest medical consultation I've ever had, I don't know which one is. So if you're looking to cut costs here in Kuala Lumpur, I'm not sure if they have these all over Malaysia, but they definitely have them here in Kuala Lumpur. If you're looking to cut costs on medical consultations, do visit Clinic Alpha.
My boyfriend has to go see a doctor today, and we're currently in Kuala Lumpur traveling, and we think he might have an ear infection that's just not getting any better. But we rang a doctor and they said we could come in straight away, which feels so strange for us because in the UK you literally have to wait weeks to see a doctor. But we arrived and he was immediately seen by a doctor. It was all so quick. I was slightly worried that it was going to be so expensive to be seen by a doctor abroad, but luckily we've got insurance just in case. And then 5 minutes later he had his medication and it was all done. We just left the health centre and it was actually really successful. So essentially they just said that like you might have an infection, it was just a bit like inflamed.
Yeah, he just said there's no blockage, there's inflammation, here's some anti-inflammatory tablets, here's some, still don't know what the drops are for, and then he gave me some antibiotics because he said it could lead to an infection, so it's better to just eradicate it. I don't really know.
The best part about all of it is that all that medication, the checkup, everything came to 44 ringgit, which is less than a prescription would probably cost you in the UK. It's actually crazy.
It really does blow my mind just how efficient and sort of streamlined it is going to see a doctor here in Malaysia compared to the UK. So today, for example, Amy had to see a doctor because she needed a new prescription. Now in the UK, you'd have to phone the doctor and you'd probably be waiting, you know, I don't know exactly, at least a week, maybe a couple or even a few weeks. Wow. I've not been in the UK for over a year now, and I've not used a doctor for a very, very long time. But I do know they have very long waiting lists, even just to see a GP. And that's if you can even get an appointment. But today, we were just walking along. Amy saw a clinic and said, oh, yes, I need to see a doctor about my prescription. So no appointment, walked in, said, would it be possible to get an appointment? They said, just wait. 5 minutes, Amy sat there, and then she saw a doctor. Simple as that. Walked in off the street, sat down for 5 minutes, saw a doctor. No 2-week waiting time, no, you know, waiting lists or no appointments available. Just as simple as that. It was such an easy process. She was in with the doctor for, you know, a few minutes, got a prescription, and the whole thing was sorted. So how exactly it has gotten to the point that it has in the UK now, where it's virtually impossible to even see a doctor, and definitely you're never going to see one on the same day, and probably not even the same week as when you actually need to see them, you know. And over here in Malaysia, it just goes to show that these things can work well, can be very efficient, streamlined, and just properly organised. And well done, Malaysia. Absolutely incredible service there.
And the reason I was so happy to come to this hospital today is because when I read the invitation, I remember that 12 years ago I actually came to one of your 30 hospitals, Damansara Hospital, and I did a surgery that it went very well. And I was very, very happy with the staff, and I'm feeling all right. Very excited, actually. I'm very excited to see 12 years later what it looks like now.
The new looks of the new KPJ.
This is our rehab center.
Oh, this machine, what is that?
This is an anti-gravity treadmill.
To get back to walk without all the pressure of your body.
We are using it often. We see a lot of progress. So now we are going to level 9 to see the new executive suite.
This is the place for the patient. This is the shower. Oh, the shower is very big. Wow. Yeah, it's a huge shower. Oh, you have a companion room with a nice view as well for the companion. Have a look at the lobby. This is just the lobby. Hotel Lima Bintang.
This is the premium lounge, 1,500 per year. Welcome drinks, our biscuits.
Yeah, I got some food. Home kitchen, yeah?
Correct. Diagnostic imaging services. The best, the latest technology that we have here.
I haven't heard about that treatment yet.
Medical breakthrough heart surgery. This is a minimally invasive heart surgery led by Professor Shahrul Amri, who is a very, very well-known surgeon in Malaysia.
Normal surgery leaves a very big scar.
Here, we don't do that anymore. We come from this side. Here, it's all minimally invasive.
Some of the latest technology, some of the friendliest staff that I've ever met. This hospital is an achievement to Malaysia. Macam pyramids of Egypt. Just look at that.
I love hospitals in Malaysia. Well, yes, I've only had experience with private hospitals in Kuala Lumpur, but still I'm impressed. Today my husband and I returned to Pantai Hospital for his post-surgical checkup. We arrived for 4:30 p.m. and were asked to wait. 20 minutes later, his surgeon invited him to evaluate his recovery. It went really smoothly. Doc took her time to answer all of our questions. We were expecting to pay around 150 ringgit for the checkup, but surprisingly, they only charged us 10 ringgit for registration fee. I'm impressed by service, our doctors' expertise, and the quality of healthcare provided by hospitals in Malaysia.
We really have such efficient healthcare system. Trust me when I say we got it good. A Malaysian who lived in the US before. I completely agree. And I've made videos in the past saying about how efficient the healthcare system in Malaysia is compared to what I'm used to back in the UK. And when I make videos about the efficiency of the Malaysian healthcare system, I do often get comments from Malaysians saying that of course there are waiting times. You do have to wait if you go to a public hospital to see a GP, that kind of thing. And yes, you do. That's probably the same in any country that has a public healthcare system. But the difference is that it's got so bad now in the UK that people are waiting weeks and weeks just to get an initial appointment. We're not talking about seeing a specialist, we're talking about simply seeing a doctor to get a referral. As we can see here, 1 in 20 patients in England wait at least 4 weeks to see a GP, figures show. That's to see a GP, like I say, not a specialist. So if you've got a pain or an illness, you just need to see the initial doctor, you could be waiting up to 4 weeks for that appointment. And in addition to that, 1 in 6 appointments, which is about 5.4 million people, the patient was forced to wait at least 2 weeks after booking just to see a GP. Now imagine, you've got something wrong with you, you're feeling unwell, or you've got a sort of a pain that's worrying you, you desperately want to see a doctor, and you're made to wait between 2 and 4 weeks just for that appointment. And in fact, it has gotten so bad that GP waiting times in the UK are now worse than Rwanda, China, and Russia, this study has found. Compare that to Malaysia. Malaysia's public hospitals have long waiting times for patients, with some reports of patients waiting more than 2 hours from registration to getting a prescription. The average time for medical consultation is 18.21 minutes. So you can see there's quite a disparity between having to wait 2 to 4 weeks and having to wait a couple of hours. And this is why I always say that being over here, I see such a high level of efficiency compared to what I'm used to in the UK. As to why it's so bad in the UK, you've had spending cuts over a number of years by the government, basically making it so that nurses and doctors are underpaid. They are better off leaving the country and going to be doctors and nurses elsewhere where they get paid properly, or moving into the private sector. So the NHS, the thing that we pay taxes for, to have an efficient, free, at the point of service health system, is sadly falling to pieces. So yes, Malaysians, your public healthcare system may not always feel perfect, and it might be frustrating that you have to wait, but honestly, count your blessings that you do not have to put up with the current state of the NHS in the UK.
I really did not want to do this because I don't like doctors, but he convinced me. Let's hope I'm not dying.
We're getting a health screening done here at Sunway Medical Center.
In the US, this would cost how much?
5,000.
5.000, gila. Periksa kesehatan aja ya, cek ya.
Okay. Vision, well, I just got my eyes done, and my eyesight is not best.
Kita paling murah
blood work done, and going off to the United States. Ready for the chest. Oh, the heart? Okay. I was supposed to get a pap smear and a urine sample done, but they just told me that I can't do it because of the day of my cycle. What's that called? Shape. I just got done doing the ultrasound. They did an ultrasound of my breasts and of my pelvic area. My ovaries look good, breasts look good. There's no bumps.
Yes!
We just got done.
It was cheaper than advertised. Mine was $156 and yours was $186.
Now we got little coffee vouchers, so we're gonna go get some food because we did fast all morning, and I'm starving. The overall experience, 10 out of 10.
One of the reasons I love KL so much is because you can do whatever you need here. So today, me and Bob are coming to Clinic Dr. Prevent.
Typhoid vaccine.
Yeah, our typhoid has run out and we're topping it up. Let's see how it goes. We got Harry Harry decorations at Q in the doctors. This is actually a little bit of a novelty because at home in the UK you have to make an appointment and wait probably ages. But here, it's not this easy. We just walked in and we're just going to get it. It's perfect. Well, that literally took like less than 1 minute to do me and Bob. So now we just have to pay.
That had to be one of the easiest vaccinations I think I've ever had. We have our vaccination certificates here and it costs just 80 ringgit per person, so
pretty
very
good.
easy.
Much better than at home in the UK.
Yes, 10 times better than England in the UK.
Gila, lebih baik daripada rumah sakit yang ada di UK dan juga England ya.
The thing that's just easier in Malaysia.
Specialist doctors. This is what surprised me the most when I first moved here. In Australia, if you want to see a specialist doctor, it's going to take you weeks, if not months, to book an appointment with them. I never understood why it was so complicated and ridiculous. And then when you finally did meet them, even if you had private health insurance, it would cost you a few $100s on top of that. So I've had some very expensive and stressful journeys with specialist doctors in Australia. Now in Malaysia, the experience could not be any more different. Specialist doctors are everywhere and they're not lower quality. These doctors are studying in Australian, UK, US universities. They've come back to Malaysia and they're practicing here. You show them your app with the insurance and you get to see the specialist pretty much straight away. When I saw the specialist, he was very friendly and he sent me to get an MRI instantly. So I went down in the same building, got the MRI, and then when that was done, they sent it straight back to the specialist. I went straight back to the specialist. I didn't need to book in for another appointment weeks in advance. I got feedback from him. It only took a few hours. And the best part of all of that is that it was completely free.
Now, very often you'll see me on here raving about the Malaysian healthcare system, how it's much more effective and generally just awesome in comparison to the UK health system. But there's another thing that I don't ever see people talking about, and that is the vet clinics over here. They are also very, very efficient. Not only are they like, you could just walk in off the street, but I think you can in a vet clinic in the UK because they're charging you money. But also they've got a lot of really good technology. Like whenever I've taken animals to the vets here, they get all sorts of cool scans and they can like scan them with black lights looking for ringworm, and they take samples from them and put them into a digital microscope and you get like this rendered thing on the computer. It's all crazy. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about because of the fact it is technology, but it's very, very clever. But the thing that's also amazing about it is the cost. So yesterday I took 5 cats to the vet and I had all of them dewormed. I had 4 of them had to have like eye ointment stuff treatment, and 2 of them had to have antibiotics, and I was probably in the vet for like 20 minutes, something like that. So a full consultation and all that medication, it was 78 ringgit. That is just mind-boggling. In the UK, that would be an extraordinary amount of money. Like, to take 5 cats in the first place, you'd be talking about silly money, and then getting all that medicine and everything for them is absolutely amazing. So there's another point right there to Malaysia. Your vet clinics are very, very good, and that's not just here. I've used vets in Langkawi in West Malaysia as well, and they were equally good. So well done, Malaysia. Good vets.
Wow, gila sih guys ya. Jadi ya mungkin kalau di Amerika itu karena hewan peliharaan itu seperti keluarga gitu kan. Tapi yo gak mahal-mahal banget ya guys ya. Tapi kalau di sini itu memang antibiotik, suntik antibiotik itu kalau di Indonesia itu sekitar 30 ringgit. 30 ribu ya. 30 ribu itu udah dapat injeksi untuk antibiotiknya. Terus juga istilahnya ada suntikan vitaminnya gitu loh guys ya. Dan memang murah, tapi ada beberapa juga istilahnya yang tempat ataupun rumah sakit hewan itu yang juga mahal juga ada gitu. Cuman kalau di luar negeri ya itu kayaknya karena hewan-hewan di sana, hewan peliharaan itu udah dianggap keluarga. Jadi dokternya tahu ini pasti keluar duit banyak ya.
Hey Bill O'Reilly, you say that Malaysians don't have a lot of money. Well, their hospitals, their private hospitals, are nicer than your 4 or 5-star hotels. I mean, what have you got going on?
Ada berikutnya. Terus rumah sakit ini kayaknya yang bule-bule ya. Wow. Ada robotnya, gila. Di rumah sakit juga ada.
Mika tahu tak, ini dia beberapa alasan kenapa orang Indonesia tuh suka banget berobat ke Malaysia. Selain katanya berobat di Malaysia itu lebih murah, pelayanannya itu bagus, cepat, dan juga alat mereka tuh canggih-canggih. Dan kayaknya cerita orang-orang tuh emang bener ya, karena ini aku langsung ngebuktiin sendiri. Datang ke 4 rumah sakit yang terkenal di kawasan Johor, Malaysia. Dan aku rekap keunggulan-keunggulan rumah sakit ini dalam satu video, biar bisa jadi panduan kalian, biar nggak bingung kalau mau berobat ke Malaysia tuh ke rumah sakit mana ya, sesuai dengan kebutuhan kalian. Tonton video ini sampai habis.
Menarik ya.
Jadi gengs, pagi ini aku mau berangkat ke Malaysia. Sebagai orang Batam, kalau mau ke Malaysia tuh gampang banget. Kita orang tuh tinggal naik ferry yang perjalanannya kurang lebih 2 jam. Itu langsung sampai ke Johor, Malaysia. Dari Batam ke Malaysia menggunakan kapal tuh sebenarnya ada beberapa pelabuhan ya. Tapi kali ini aku tuh lewat pelabuhan Situlang Laut. Tujuan aku ke Malaysia kali ini tuh karena aku mau medical check up gengs. Sebab medical check up di sini tuh harganya lebih murah daripada di tempatku. Tapi untuk detail medical check upnya akan kita bahas di video selanjutnya ya. Di video ini aku mau kasih 4 rekomendasi rumah sakit biar kalian nggak bingung kalau misalnya mau berobat ke Malaysia. Yang pertama, ini namanya adalah KPJ Pasir Gudang. Rumah sakit ini tuh terkenal sama dokter ortopedinya, terus sama perawatan jantungnya dan juga respiratori atau sistem pernafasannya. Ini aku lagi ada di ruang UGD-nya, gengs. Kalian bisa lihat ini mobilnya mirip banget ya, ambulannya kayak yang ada di drakor-drakor drama Korea gitu. Alat MRI-nya juga di sini tuh canggih-canggih. Kalian bisa lihat ya, mesinnya mantep. Dan ini aku lagi ada di lantai 8 mau lihat ruang VIP-nya. Kamar VIP-nya gede banget dan ini untuk ruang pasien sama ruang tamu itu tuh dipisah. View dari jendelanya juga cakep banget tahu. Di kamar VIP ini juga sudah ada kitchen setnya loh. Jadi bisa cuci piring, manasin makanan, dan ruang tamunya juga cukup besar, bisa untuk menerima tamu. Yang kedua, ini namanya adalah KPJ Putri Specialist Hospital. Nah, kalau di rumah sakit ini yang terkenal itu perawatan pediatriknya atau perawatan bayi dan anak. Jadi kalau mau ngerawat anak kalian yang sakit, cocok banget di rumah sakit ini. Di rumah sakit ini juga terkenal tuh sama perawatan lutut dan jantungnya. Ini dokter Chung, ini dokter ortopedik dan spine surgery terkenal banget. Dan untuk mesin MRI mereka ini juga udah yang terbaru, gengs. Kalian bisa lihat. Wow. Jadi intinya menurut aku rumah sakit ini cocok banget buat kalian yang mau berobat tentang anak, perawatan lutut dan juga jantung. Selanjutnya yang ketiga, ini namanya adalah Rumah Sakit KPJ Bandar Dato' On. Kalian lihat geng, ini rumah sakit mall atau hotel sih, gede banget, bahkan ada eskalatornya. Buset, bangunannya juga bener-bener lebih modern dibanding dengan beberapa rumah sakit.
Kalau di sini belum, tak ya, maksudnya segede itu gitu dan bagus gitu pembangunannya gitu loh guys ya. Tapi ya maksudnya kalau apa ya guys, rumah sakit kayak gitu semua itu mewah banget gila.
KPJ yang kita lihat tadi. Untuk rumah sakit KPJ Bandar Dato' On ini tuh terkenal sama neuro dan juga spine surgery-nya atau ahli bedah saraf dan bedah tulang belakang. Alat mesin perawatan jantung mereka juga ini keren-keren banget. Untuk mesin-mesin memang kayaknya KPJ nggak ada yang zong sih. Mesinnya betul-betul luar biasa. Di rumah sakit KPJ Bandar Dato' On ini juga sangat terkenal dengan yang namanya ophthalmology atau perawatan yang terkait dengan bola mata. Untuk endoskopinya juga di sini tuh canggih. Walaupun semua rumah sakit KPJ itu rata-rata ada endoskopinya, tapi yang di Dato' On ini mereka memiliki mesin yang paling terbaru. Cafe di sini juga view-nya cakep ya, gengs ya. Makan sambil ngeliatin jalan tol gitu. Yang keempat, ini namanya adalah KPJ Johor Specialist Hospital. Rumah sakit ini tuh terkenal banget dengan perawatan jantung dan paru-parunya, sama IVF atau yang biasa kalian sebut tuh dengan bayi tabung, dan juga perawatan kanker karena mesin mereka kalian bisa lihat ini mesinnya canggih banget. Jadi emang dari keempat rumah sakit tadi tuh semuanya canggih-canggih, gengs. Semuanya bagus-bagus, semuanya lengkap-lengkap dan canggih-canggih. Untuk harga juga sama aja. Cuman setiap rumah sakit pasti ada keunggulannya tuh di bidang apa. Itu dia yang aku jabarkan tadi. Mudah-mudahan video ini bermanfaat untuk kalian. Dan kira-kira kalian mau ke rumah sakit yang mana nih, gengs? Komen di bawah.
Oke guys, sudah selesai videonya dan ya gila sih, gila banget gitu kan. Pengakuan daripada bule-bule ataupun Mat Saleh yang datang ke situ semua mengagumkan ya. Bahkan kos ketika istilahnya rumah sakit di Malaysia dan juga dibandingkan dengan UK, England, Australia, mereka semua mengakui bahwasannya di Malaysia dengan fasilitas seperti itu dan dengan harga seperti itu sangat-sangat luar biasa dan sangat-sangat menakjubkan. Karena fasilitas yang diberikan itu kelas bintang 5 katanya guys ya. Gila sih, dokternya juga bukan kaleng-kaleng, mereka belajar dari luar negeri guys, atau luar negara seperti itu, lulusan UK, lulusan Australia, dan lulusan universitas terbaik di dunia juga. Gila sih guys, ya. Dibantu lagi dengan pemerintahan ataupun sistem rumah sakit, manajemen rumah sakit yang terbaik juga, ya kan? Apa itu? Alat-alatnya super canggih. Makanya orang Indonesia aja merekomendasikan rumah sakit itu. Gila enggak sih? Ya, bule-bule aja merekomendasikan, orang kita juga merekomendasikan. Nah, itu guys, gila banget kan? Allahu Akbar, tahniahlah Malaysia ini. Oke guys, ya itu dulu videonya. Terima kasih udah tengok video ini sampai selesai. Gila sih, saya gak percaya, tapi ya mau gimana lagi, udah ada videonya dan buktinya gitu loh. Gila, ini memang gila banget. Nah, terima kasih guys sudah menonton sampai selesai. Jangan lupa like, share, komen, dan subscribe. Saya pamit undur diri. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.